Hi everyone, 8:30 here on this Friday night, January 23rd, 2026, and we're bringing you this update on our ice storm warning and also winter storm warnings across the area. Got Facebook up. We are monitoring the questions that you may have there. We're also streaming at CBS 19 Plus and on the YouTube channel. Appreciate everybody tuning in and riding out the storm with us here, as we'll be covering it throughout the weekend. We'll be on CBS 19 Plus streaming tomorrow morning from 8 a.m. till 10 a.m. In fact, we may even be on CBS 19 covering up the CBS morning show Saturday to bring you this update on our severe winter weather. And that is because if you look at the nation, anywhere east of the Rockies, in fact, even a little bit west of the Rockies, but essentially, I'd say 3/4 of the country has some sort of extreme cold warning, winter storm warning, ice storm warning in East Texas all the way up into southern parts of Tennessee and then over toward Atlanta, northern Georgia, western parts of South Carolina and southwestern North Carolina. I mean, this is quite the storm. Parts of Mississippi could see up to 1.5 inches of freezing rain. We're talking about a 1/2 inch to maybe 3/4 of an inch here in parts of East Texas, but those areas over in Mississippi could even get it harder than we do. All right, this is 8:30 radar, CBS 19 live radar. Sulphur Springs down to 35 degrees. Mount Pleasant down to 35. Mineola's at 36. Gilmer at 36. The purple areas we see here, at least the mathematics or the algorithm that is fed into the radar is indicating or picking up the possibility that there could be some sleet mixing in. Wouldn't be freezing rain. You have to have a surface temperature of 32 because you have to have the rain hit the surface and then freeze. So the purple area would tell us that maybe there's a wet snowflake mixing in, could be a sleet pellet, and again, it could be elevated off the ground, but the radar is simply seeing some temperatures cold enough to support some frozen precipitation. Tyler's down to 38, Athens is at 39, Longview's at 39, Marshall's down to 38, lower 40s now, Carthage and Henderson. Jacksonville still at 45, still in the 50s at Lufkin and Crockett. So the cold air is just filtering or oozing its way southward. Of course, it'll take longer to get into parts of deep East Texas. All right, let's see if we've got any questions on the stream and on CBS 19 Plus. That is where we are posted up here tonight, and we've got quite a few people watching. We appreciate everybody who's taking time out on their Friday night to watch us and share this experience with us. If you want to go ahead and share this video, please do that on the Facebook page. Also on the YouTube channel, go ahead and share that or subscribe and like this video. And then we can also on CBS 19 Plus, you can download the app if you haven't already, and you can watch and follow along as we head through tomorrow's storm. But at any rate, here tonight, this is light rain, drizzle, and some areas of heavier rain off to the northwest. Those areas where you see yellow might have supported a little bit of sleet. Sometimes in the wintertime on radar, when you see those bright yellow or orange returns, it looks like it's heavy rain, when in reality, what the radar is seeing, that beam is picking up some brighter objects, or it's being reflected by larger objects, and they can be sleet pellets. And so that may have been what we saw earlier. But at any rate, the moisture continues. It's going to continue all night long, and we are now in the ice storm warning until Sunday at 6 p.m. Now, the precipitation may end Sunday morning, so you may be wondering, well, why an ice storm warning through 6 p.m.? Well, anything that is frozen Sunday morning will remain frozen through Sunday evening. So there's likely not going to be much of a chance for much to melt. And there's also a few pieces of computer data out there trying to spit out some light snow flurries or maybe some freezing drizzle even into Sunday afternoon. But right now it looks like the bulk of the moisture will move out Sunday morning. So ice storm warning through Sunday at 6 p.m. Winter storm warning. The area is in pink until noon Sunday. So what was the difference here? Well, here is where we expect those freezing rain accumulations to possibly top a 1/2 inch, and in some instances could be closer to 3/4 of an inch. And in some parts of Louisiana, it could get closer to an inch. In the winter storm warning areas, there's a better chance to pick up some snow mixed with sleet and freezing rain. So sort of an all types of precipitation storm north of Interstate 20 and then south of Interstate 20. It's primarily freezing rain. Live picture here, you can see the rain continuing to come down in the street lights. The wet roads, and that's what they continue to be, just wet at this time, with temperatures now down to 37 in Tyler. Dew points are down to 34. So right now, as far as we can fall is 34, but I do expect that dew point number to continue to drop. Feels like it's 28 degrees outside. It's a noticeable difference from where it was this afternoon, with a northeast wind right now at 14 miles an hour. All right, here's the storm timeline. Let me see if I can get updated also on the Facebook for the questions. But the storm timeline, as we look at this tonight, we can see the rain continuing late into the overnight hours and into the early parts of tomorrow morning. And that should be rain, temperatures slowly dropping. Once we get to about 4 a.m., now we potentially could be looking at freezing rain beginning to form. Again, that would be around 4 a.m. to 5 a.m., 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. So that's what we would be looking for, that changeover. I'm trying to get back to the live version here of our stream, and so I can answer any questions. I don't see any right now popping up in the stream, but there may be some. So just bear with me while I kind of get everything set up here and we get updated with the video. All right, interesting that I'm not seeing that, but we'll see what we can do. Oh, here we go. All right, so we're back to the storm timeline. I don't see any questions in the chat right now. So Saturday, periods of freezing rain. Temperatures will fall into the mid and upper 20s, and they'll hang there. Saturday night, there's a little bit of a lull in the action Saturday afternoon, and then Saturday night, it picks back up again. And it may be the heaviest right here Saturday night, overnight into early Sunday morning. The wind is also out of the northeast at 10 to 15 miles an hour. Really doesn't die down a whole lot throughout this entire storm. So the combination of freezing rain, collecting on tree limbs and power lines, and wind, this is going to be the biggest threat to see power outages. It will be Saturday night, overnight into Sunday morning. And then Sunday, everything ends as sort of a mix of freezing rain, maybe a few snowflakes and sleet pellets. The temperatures will be in the mid-20s, though, all day Sunday. Then after that, we have the extreme cold warning, and the extreme cold warning has prompted us to extend the weather impact alert out through Tuesday morning. The extreme cold warning for Sunday night into Monday morning calls for temperatures to drop to near record levels for the lows by Monday morning, down to around 10, 11, 12 degrees here in this dark blue area. With the wind added into that, it could feel like it's 0 or below. And then Monday afternoon, we could warm up to about 31. But then Tuesday morning, we're right back down to about 15 degrees again. So anything that might melt in the sunlight on Monday will freeze hard again Tuesday morning. So we've got a couple of concerns there that this storm, or this part of the storm, could add some added ice to the area by Tuesday morning. That would just be refreezing ice, nothing falling from the sky. All right, Jefferson's now down below freezing. Mount Pleasant's at 33. Sulphur Springs at 34. So we're now seeing the first area that is seeing below average temperature and below freezing temperatures here in East Texas. Marshall's down to 33. Gilmer's getting close to the freezing mark. Longview's at 36, still hanging in the low 40s at Henderson, and 40 degrees at Jacksonville. So how are the roads? Tonight, the roads are still wet, but ice is possible after midnight. And then any wet roads tomorrow, as the day goes on, will become icy by late afternoon and especially Saturday night. Any water that will freeze solid Sunday morning with temperatures around 19 or 20 degrees. And then some roads could be impassable, especially country roads, big hills. They might be very dangerous to try to navigate. Storm Severity Index from the Weather Prediction Center. And this is a combination. They're looking at everything here. So they're looking at precipitation rates, types of precipitation. The wind is also factored into this. And so this is primarily focused on ice alone, and it does have major impacts in the forecast from Van Zandt County eastward, essentially where that ice storm warning covers, and the considerable disruptions with widespread closures and power outages possible. So a couple of real things that we have to deal with this storm. The possibility there will be power outages could last a couple of days. Also, perhaps governmental offices closing down. Schools have already been calling off for Monday morning. The storm system itself is just, and this storm is in the infancy at this point. It's just now moving on shore, but you can see the ripple of moisture into New Mexico and that pipeline of Pacific moisture coming in from the Pacific all the way through Texas here into East Texas. And there's just a little bit of a Gulf component adding some moisture to that. So the moisture supply is there. It's a pipeline to the Pacific. So there's no reason why this will shut off. It could come to us in waves, as I'll show you here with future Skycast as we head into Saturday. But essentially, and then look at the temperatures here. Even our in-house computer model thinks it's a little warmer than what it actually is. So we'll see what happens around midnight. We might see those freezing temperatures down to Tyler or Longview by midnight. So this would certainly tell us that by 5 a.m. tomorrow, we're going to have below freezing temperatures, and then everywhere should be below freezing by Saturday, let's say 11 a.m. Now, the key here is that there could be a little lull in the action. It may taper to drizzle, would still accumulate, or some very light rain through the afternoon until we get to about 5 o'clock. Then a secondary wave comes in, and that secondary wave is heaviest. Look at this. Late Saturday night, Sunday morning, solid freezing rain, very heavy freezing rain. Lufkin and Groveton moves out of here with some snow showers. And then look at the temperatures, 18 at Mineola, 28 at Nacogdoches. Everywhere stays below freezing the entire day. And then the sky clears Sunday night and the temperatures could really tank. All right, I hesitate to show anyone these numbers because if we showed you these in snowfall totals, it's never exact. But it's close, and it's suggested to be used as guidance, okay? So this is guidance for forecast ice accumulations. So what does this mean? Does it mean you're going to have 0.6 of an inch of ice in Henderson? Maybe, but maybe more in line of, say, ½ inch or 3/10 of an inch to maybe a ½ inch of ice. So it's sort of a range here, and I think the range across the area is generally a ½ inch, 3/10 of an inch of ice. And that's on flat surfaces. That's on the top of your car. That's on the driveway, the parking lot. Not necessarily on power lines and trees. To get that number, you have to half that. So you're talking about a ½ inch, though, of ice possible on tree limbs and on power lines. And so when that translates, it looks something like this. There's a 1/10 of an inch of ice. That's typically a light glaze on the roads and the sidewalks. The bridges become slick. We're talking about windshields coated, isolated power outages, and then icy roads with a 1/4 of an inch of ice, tree limbs sagging and breaking, and then we start talking about numerous power outages. And if we get into, and I hope this doesn't happen, it's a possibility, but I think it's the outside realm possibility of a ½ inch of ice or a little bit more than that. And then we're talking about dangerous travel on roads, widespread tree damage, and long-term power outages. So let's just hope that is not where we are headed. All right, tomorrow, freezing rain, sleet. Periods of freezing rain in the morning, mixing with sleet perhaps later in the day. 27 for the high temperature. Then looking at your Baylor Scott & White Texas Spine and Joint Hospital 10-day forecast. And that 10-day forecast has a weather impact alert now going through Tuesday because of the morning lows Monday and Tuesday morning. Even though the precipitation shuts off Sunday, likely by noon, the sky clears Sunday night. We drop to 12 Monday morning. Could be colder in some spots. There may be areas in East Texas that see single digits. Mostly sunny, so some melting, and then a hard refreeze Tuesday morning back to 15. Then a thaw, 42, but another freeze Wednesday morning, then a thaw, then another freeze. Thursday morning down to 28, we're up to 50 by Thursday afternoon. Rain showers here by Friday. Temperatures stay above freezing the entire day and then dip back below freezing the following weekend, the final weekend of January. All right, didn't see any questions on the comments, but I do appreciate everybody riding along with us here tonight, going through our 10-day forecast, letting us walk you through the ice storm. The ice storm warning continues until Sunday afternoon, winter storm warnings till Sunday at noon. Make sure you keep checking back to CBS 19 Plus, CBS19.tv for updates on the forecast back here on the Facebook page and, of course, on the YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. We will see you tonight on CBS 19 News at 10 o'clock.